Please join me in welcoming our commencement speaker for today, May Fox.
Aloha, everyone. I'm May, and you graduating seniors know me as that face on the Zoom screen over the last few months as we've worked together on the venture, which has been such a delight and an honor. I can tell you that I've been deeply touched by reading your stories of your struggles in what is a crazy world to become a teenager in. But you survived, you coped, you adapted, and you thrived. We talked about movie moments when we were writing the book together, right? Those moments that really shape the core of who we are, both the good and the bad, the struggles and the triumphs. And so I thought I'd share a movie moment or two with you today. For 25 years, I got to do what I loved and get paid to do it. I'm really lucky. I got my first book published at age 25 by Penguin Putnam, and that sent me on a lifelong journey of being an author, helping people write their books and contributing poems to anthologies and being a contributor to Forbes for nearly a decade. It was really exciting, but it was very solitary. And at age 50, I was facing this milestone birthday, and I thought, I really need to start a company. It's time that I become an entrepreneur. Now, I was surrounded by entrepreneurs most of my adult life. I went to Stanford, and I graduated at the time of the first dot-com boom. So some of my classmates went on to found Yahoo and other companies you might have heard of. And then in my early 30s, I was invited to be part of a group of young entrepreneurs, artists, and change makers called Summit Series. Now, you may have heard of this because Leanne and Laura came with me to Summit Series a month ago. And it's a really fantastic group of people. Some of them have founded Tom's Shoes and Liquid Death, Canned Water, and other incredible companies. So it's not like I didn't know that this was something out there. I just didn't have quite the courage to do it. Unlike you guys who are doing it as teenagers, which blows my mind. I remember going to that first summit event. It was on a cruise ship, and as I walked up, there's this huge 100-foot tall sign hanging from the side of the ship that says, "Make no small plans." And at 50, I thought, it's my turn to make no small plans. I need to get going. The thing is, I had no idea how to start a business. I've been writing at a computer. I'm a total nerd. I didn't know how to set up a course, but I wanted to reach more than one person at once. So I wanted to create an online course. That was the vision in my head. So I went to the 2023 Summit Series event with the idea that I was going to manifest meeting a business partner. And I talked about it the whole time I was there for 3 days, and I didn't meet anyone. It was such a disappointment. The very last day, we're all having breakfast, and they're announcing over the loudspeakers, "Get off the boat, it's time to leave." And I sit down with someone who tells me, "Oh, by the way, I'm the founding CEO of one of the largest course creation companies in the country." Boom, there it was. I said, "Oh my gosh, I would love to work with you." He said, "Well, we really only work with influencers and people with hundreds of thousands of followers." I was like, "Okay, well, maybe I could just call you and pick your brain. I mean, this is how you have to be as an entrepreneur, right?" And he said, "Yeah, sure. Let me set you up with my VP, Carrie." So I talked to Carrie after getting off that boat, and Carrie said, "You know what? I think I'll work with you. Let's do it." So there you go. I had a business partner, and it was off to the races. That summer, man, I have never worked so hard in my life. I was traveling across country with my family, with young kids, and I was up at 4 a.m. every day, sending emails to everyone I know and saying, "Who wants to sign up for my book course?" And I was teaching a trial course to 2 of my friends who agreed to be my guinea pigs. And meanwhile, Carrie was setting up the course platform and the payment systems and the website. And we did it. We launched 3 months later in the fall of 2023. 20 people in the course, and it was a total success. People were thrilled. We had 2 published books that came out of it. One won the Canadian Book Award for Best Book last year. But that's the story that you read in Forbes. That's the story that you hear people share from stage. But meantime, I had so many failures. I love the expression throwing spaghetti at the wall. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this. It's like when you cook, and if you throw spaghetti at the wall, the ones that stick are cooked and the ones that fall to the ground aren't. Well, I had lots of spaghetti that didn't stick. I had a weekend boot camp where I was like, I'm going to teach everything I know in 3 days. I got one person to sign up. I thought I would do like a 6-month version where we went really deep into it. No one signed up. So, you succeed, you fail, but what do? You keep believing in yourself, and you keep trying, and you keep soliciting feedback from your clients and your customers and saying, what can I do better? Well, guess what else happened in the fall of 2023 when I was launching my inaugural course? I don't know if you remember the timing, but it was ChatGPT. So now suddenly there's AI, and people can use AI to write their books, and I'm thinking, who's even going to take a writing course anymore? But they did. There are people who wanted to tell their stories from their heart. People like your Vice Principal, Laura Berg, who wrote her book, In Pursuit of What's Possible, and she just published. She has an Amazon bestseller, you guys. And that's a shameless plug for you all to go buy it and leave a 5-star review, because it's all about her journey starting the Clara Brown Academy of Entrepreneurship, in a fantastic book. Well, now I call my business my third child, and not only that, I call it my problem child. I have twin boys. They're 11 years old, and they're home right now with my husband and my mom. But, they're pretty great. They're pretty easy. They go to bed. I read them a book at night, and they're pretty self-sufficient. My company is not. My company is waking me up at 4 a.m. My company is making me work on weekends and at night and causing me endless amounts of stress. So that's the reality, and yet I wouldn't have it any other way. It's the most thrilling thing I've done in my life. It's been so rewarding. It has pushed me to new heights, and I'm just so blown away that you guys are already doing this. This, I believe, is the most important skill you've developed here at VALE, the willingness to take courageous, audacious leaps of faith. This skill will carry you through, not just as entrepreneurs should you go that path, not just through your careers, but through life itself. Maybe you haven't focused as much on learning calculus or reading the classics, but knowledge is right there at our fingertips, especially with AI and cell phones. The VALE advantage is your ability to move beyond your knowledge and turn it into wisdom. Wisdom is knowing yourself, understanding other people, being able to connect with them, and being able to translate your lessons to others, which is exactly what you've done with your book, The Venture. I'd like to just share with all of you a reflection of what I've gotten to see working with these extraordinary young people on their book. Amara, you share your story of smudging a projector screen on your first day in front of the entire class. What a mortifying moment. And yet you write, embarrassment is just the fear of being seen. We try so hard to hide the blunders that we forget that the blunders allow others to know that we are also human. Beautifully said. Roman, you open up about how caving to peer pressure led you to vaping, and you give really hard advice to the future incoming freshmen of VALE that they're going to listen to a lot more than hearing it from their parents or teachers. Don't even take the first puff. Dax, you write about the power of a single act of kindness. I was so touched when you said a small act each day can single-handedly save someone's life. Jamal, you confessed that you were a terrible student before you found VALE. Here you connected, and I love these words. I entered a space where my voice could be heard no matter how quiet. How moving. Anthony, you described VALE as a light in the dark, saying your classmates instantly got you and knew your struggle, and they didn't judge you for it. Ethan, you talk about how VALE inspired you to go from failing every class to passing everyone. Do you hear that? What a transformation. Riley, you make a strong case for the long-term value of prioritizing school, and that is going to carry a great deal of weight for future incoming freshmen. Nishan, you describe how for years you communicated with teachers and classmates in a combative way, And you say that VALE helped you learn a different approach. You know, that kind of self-awareness is rare even among 50-year-olds like me. Ella, you describe how you were bullied in middle school, causing you to give up and rebel. But at VALE, you say, deep down, I wanted to be different. As the year went on and I got past more bumps in the road, I caught a glimpse of the person I could become. So moving. Jake, you talk about how VALE prepared you for your upcoming mission by helping you become more adaptable. Brody, you describe how you went all the way from being terrified of public speaking to winning the pitch contest. I mean, how incredible. Liam, your philosophical essay on overcoming self-doubt is so true. You say that we create our own reality. William, you demonstrate tremendous courage in sharing your experience of childhood abuse and years of mental health struggles. And yet you found your way ultimately by making good friends. And Kat, your collection of poetry was so vulnerable and courageous. Thank you for sharing that, talking about belonging and losing a friend to addiction. When I read all of your essays together, what I witness is a group of young people who have already done the hard thing. You've looked honestly at your own lives, found meaning in difficult moments, and chosen to transform that meaning into something useful for someone else. That's the entire job description of a leader in today's world. So here's what I'll leave you with today, you small and extraordinary inaugural graduating senior class of VALE. Because this is, after all, a commencement address, and I think I'm supposed to give some advice, but I feel like you know it all already. Number one, don't fear failure. You, me, everyone else in this room, we've already fallen flat, gotten bruised, and picked ourselves up again. That's what led us to find new pathways, take immense risks, start over, and try again. Number two, do not shrink to fit yourself into spaces that were designed for someone less interesting than you. You guys are so cool and interesting. There's a lot of pressure out there, but stay true to you, please. And number three, stick with a community of people who know how to bet on themselves and bet on you. These are the people you found at VALE, and we know from the research that those who move forward in isolation are far less likely to finish and flourish than those who surround themselves with others who share their vision and values. And when those inevitable hard moments come, because they will, remember, the hard moments are setting you up for a future in which you continue to own and expand on your power as a creator. Because that's what you all are. You are creators, and that is your superpower. Last year, long before I knew I'd be giving this speech, I created a short book for graduates just like you called Take the First Step. In it, I wrote, you do not need a map to embark on your journey, and even if you think you have one, the wind will tear it apart. Well, VALE graduates, you've already embraced this sentiment. You understand that the wind tearing apart your map is not a disaster. It's the beginning of a new journey. I know your teachers, parents, friends, and fellow classmates feel immensely proud of you today, as do I. I hope you feel proud of you too. I cannot wait to watch you take the next first step. Thank you.